Are you a small business owner or solopreneur and feeling a little bit overwhelmed by trying to figure out what legal policies you need to protect yourself, your business, and your clients? That sounds like you, then you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to share with you a couple of great resources for some legal templates that won't break the bank, but it'll give you some peace of mind. Before we dive in, if we haven't met yet, my name is Meg. I'm a yoga teacher and meditation teacher turned Squarespace web designer, and I'm the owner of Floating Lotus Design. I'm here to help you elevate your wellness website and business without the tech overwhelm. When I was starting out in my businesses, it was definitely overwhelming to try and figure out all of the things that I needed to have in place to make sure I could run my businesses successfully, but also, correctly from a legal perspective and a financial perspective. So many things to figure out, and especially when you're a solopreneur just doing it for the first time, you're looking for all the help and information you can get from anywhere. And so it's not to say that I've done some of my research and, made some mistakes and had some successes. And I'm here to share with you some things that worked well for me in the hopes that save you a little bit of time and stress in your process as well. So one of the most important things you need to do when you have a business is to protect yourself legally. You need appropriate legal policies in place. They protect you and your assets along with your business, and they also protect your clients and customers. It's not something that you can really or should, in my opinion, try to do with just, as many free resources as you can or DIY it without, some professional assistance. Said, as a new business owner, or if you're just on your own, sometimes hiring a lawyer can be a pretty expensive budget line. So if that's where you are, I understand. And hopefully today, what I share with you will help save you a little bit of that stress and overwhelm that came with trying to figure out some of the legal aspects of it and give you some resources to help you make that process a little bit easier for yourself. Now, I'm going to share with you a couple of resources for legal policies that I think are reputable and very good resources to check out and see if they're a good fit for your business. But before I share them with you, I want to have two quick disclaimers here. So disclaimer number one, I am not a lawyer. I am not an attorney, and therefore you should not consider anything in this video to be legal advice in any way whatsoever. It's always important that you consult with an attorney or lawyer in your local area to determine what your business legal requirements are and to make sure that you understand those before you go into buying any type of legal policy template or hiring a lawyer to do them for you. So make sure that you do your due diligence on your end. You will be better for it in the long run. And disclaimer number two, the two resources I'm going to share with you today, and the links are in the description, are resources that I use myself in my businesses, and the links that I share with you are affiliate links. So if you do explore these options and you decide that they are the right fit for you and you use those links to make a purchase, I will receive a small fee in return. So just be aware of that, but also know I would never put anything here or recommend anything to you that I have not personally used myself and support in my business. And with that out of the way, here's what I've got for you. So my first recommendation is the Lisa Fraley's Legal Love DIY Legal Template Shop. Bit of a mouthful. Lisa Fraley is a lawyer who really specializes in helping holistic entrepreneurs. So if you are in the health and wellness space, a heart-centered entrepreneur, health coaches, course creators, yoga meditation teachers, could go on and on. But in that space, she is of the same mind, and she really believes in the importance of your legal templates being not only a way of loving yourself, but showing love for your clients. And by protecting you and your clients and setting things up in a way that serves your business. So she specializes in folks who work in that space. And so she has a great many number of templates that can help you in that space. Everything from client contracts to terms and conditions to privacy policies to disclaimers, podcasting guest contracts, you name it. She's got it covered. And the nice thing about her templates and what I really appreciate about them is that they are written in basically great English. They're super easy to understand both by you and by your clients or visitors to your website. So when you purchase one of her templates or about one of her template bundles, you're going to get a document download with full instructions and with an audio or video guide to help you fill it out. She makes the process extremely easy and in a manner that's just not full of a bunch of legalese mumbo jumbo that you don't even understand what you're filling. It's great. I highly recommend that, especially if that's something that you feel overwhelmed by or kind of daunted by the legalese of things. Her templates are incredibly easy to understand for anyone, and they've been vetted by her and her team. So you can have confidence that you're getting something that's a solid product. In addition, she has a lot of other resources I recommend. She has a podcast. She has courses in there that can help you figure out what kind of things that you might need for your business to help educate you. And she also offers the ability to do, at least at the time of this recording, the ability to book a free 10 or 20-minute consult call with her team. So if you have questions about what it is you might need or what's best for your business, you can talk to somebody and get some answers before you put any money out the door on some legal policies. And I think that's a really great thing. So you can have confidence in knowing what you're buying and that you're getting the right thing for your business. So that said, I think she's definitely worth checking out, particularly if you're in that health and wellness space or doing course creation, things like that. She really has a multitude of things to offer and can cover pretty much anything you might be needing. The second resource, which is relatively new to me, I found them in the last several months in 2023, that I think is unique, and I really like the way they are providing their product, and I think it might be really useful to you too. There is a firm called Termageddon, which I think is a great name, number one. Easy to read from her and pretty amusing, at least from my perspective. Anyway, I have a weird sense of humor, if you haven't picked up on that yet. But anyway, so Termageddon has a different approach. Now, Termageddon is not focused on specifically kind of health and wellness and holistic and, heart-centered practitioners. They're more a resource for anyone and everybody. So they cover a lot of bases. And the nice thing about them is that everything you do with them, you're really doing online through their platform. So as opposed to buying a template, what you're actually buying is a license, and that license gives you access to a bundle of policies. And once you purchase that license, you can go in and you basically fill out a questionnaire online in their platform about your business. It kind of guides you through it step by step. And once you finish those questionnaires for each of the different policies that you've decided you're going to work with them on, they create a policy for you. And then this policy, you can read the policy. You end up at the end actually having some code that you can copy and paste into your website. So as opposed to copying and pasting something off of a Word document and then loading that into your website, you instead would take this code and copy it onto your page in your website using a code block and embed the code, and then the policy pops up there. The thing that's cool about this is that by doing that, they basically make sure that that policy is kept up to date. So they're constantly monitoring the privacy laws, and I'm using privacy policy as an example here, but they're monitoring the laws and changes in the laws to keep that all up to date in the back end. So as things change, that code is kept up to date and your policy is automatically being kept up to date. So you don't have to worry so much about making sure that you're staying on top of it every 6 months or a year to make sure that you're needing to update your policies. They're making sure that's happening in the back end. And they also communicate with you. They'll send you emails letting you know major changes in the laws that you should be aware of, and whether or not it's just an FYI or whether it's something that requires you to take action depending on the policies that you filled out. So it's a really nice advantage they have in the fact that, if you just want to kind of set it and forget it almost, this is a great way to do that. Yes, you do have to pay, either monthly or annually to keep that going as opposed to a one-time charge, but the convenience factor of having that mindset of knowing it's being looked after and I don't have to worry about keeping up on all the laws myself can be really comforting. They also have a unique way of dealing with cookies. They have a whole cookie policy and cookie tool, consent tool in place as well, which is something I had not used before and am now doing that. And that's really great too. That's a great way of making sure that you're on top of all of the cookie policy, and it allows people to be able to choose their settings and accept what they want to and not accept what they don't want to. And it's very user friendly both for you and for any visitors to your website. So they have a nice format of how they're doing things, and it's really it's a unique approach, and I like it. I have some of my own clients that have decided to use them, particularly because that idea of like, okay, I can answer a questionnaire. I don't have to get too caught up in the legalese, and then I'll have a policy that will be kept updated for me, and I'll be kept informed, and I don't have to worry. So if we're talking about pros about both of these companies is hands down customer support. I have had to engage with customer support with both of these companies, and my experience has been outstanding. They are very quick to get back to you. They're extremely helpful. When you have questions about a policy or going through the process, they're right there to help you out. So you don't ever have to feel that, you're stuck out in no man's land if you have a question or if you run into a little problem with anything. And for example, Termageddon, where you have to copy code into your website, they have a full list of instructions based on where your website platform is on how to do that. So you don't have to worry that you have to figure out all the techie stuff. You don't. They're right there for you if you need any help. And if you are working with a web designer and you're building out your web design from scratch and you want to work with them, your web designer can probably help you do that too. If they know how to paste and code, pretty simple for them to do that for you as well. Now, what I would say is the biggest difference between these two that you might want to think about, again, as I mentioned, is their pricing model. So at least Fraley's DIY template shop is similar to our traditional template shop where you go in and you take a look at the different templates, different policies that you may need or want. And, there might be some bundles there. You might buy them individually, but it's a one-time fee. You're going to purchase them once and then they're yours and you own them from that point forward. And you need to keep them up to date from there. And with Termageddon, as I mentioned, instead of buying like a policy template, you're buying a license that covers a bunch of policies. And then you need to keep up that license with them to continue to use those policies. And it will renew monthly or annually, depending on what you choose. But again, as opposed to one and done, it's going to be a recurring fee. So different pricing models. So that's something that might be a consideration for you, depending on what you're looking for. But you also have to balance that with the needs of what works best for you. Kind of that I want something that's I'll pay for it every year as long as I don't have to really worry about it too much and know that it's going to be kept up to date for me, versus something that is a little bit more customized to my business or my particular services. And I'm okay with wanting to get this up to date myself or making sure that the way it's written is in plain English that's easily understandable. And something else you might want to consider, regardless of whether you decide to look at these two resources or others, is that it's also okay to mix and match depending on what your needs are. So maybe one provider is going to give you the best solution for your website terms and conditions and privacy policies and things like that. And another may be something that you're going to look at more for those client-facing, true client-facing type of policies, like your client contract, your agreements, course policies and purchases and store policies and things like that. Particularly when you're in the health and wellness space, the way those are written and the things that they cover can be very specific. So, there might be places where you might mix and match and buy one template from one source because that's the best template for you, and another from another because that suits that need. So don't be afraid to figure out what's best for you and make the choice with that in mind. You don't have to do everything with one provider. Choose what works for you best. And overall, that would be my general recommendation when it comes to looking at legal templates and legal policies, is to really know your business, know what's important to you, and what you need to make sure that you are presenting yourself and your business in the best way possible and servicing your clients and customers in the best way. Legal policies can be overwhelming, and yes, they can be expensive, and lawyers can be very expensive. But this is a place that it's really important to spend a little bit of money because you want to be protected and you want to protect your clients too. There's no reason to put yourself out to unnecessary risk or for your clients to be at an unnecessary risk. So if you're tempted by the free templates that are out there, buyer beware is what I have to say on that. So consider what your budget needs are, consider what the needs are of your business and of your clients, and use that as your guide. And most importantly, no matter where you go looking for templates, do your research. Don't just click on a link. And I see this as an affiliate of products and resources, but don't just go clicking on a link and buying something because somebody on the internet told you it was the greatest place to go. This is a recommendation from me, my personal experience with these two companies. I think they're great resources. I think they're worth a look. But you should always do your research. Look at these places. Look at other ones. Check them all out. See what they offer. Understand the product that you're looking at. Ask questions if you have them. And don't purchase anything unless you feel it is the right fit for you and your business. That's the most important thing. And consult a lawyer if you have questions. Consult experts who can answer your legal questions, your financial questions that you have before you put out money on anything for your business. Your business is important. It's too important to take lightly or to try and just kind of get a quick, back of the envelope policy and think that you're covered. Do the work, do the research, and once you've done that, choose the provider that's best for you and meets your needs and your budget and that you'll feel comfortable with moving forward. That's the most important thing. So I hope you find that helpful. And if you are looking for help with how to actually add your legal policies into your website once you have them all together, I will put a link to my video about how to do that in Squarespace up above if you want to check that out. And beyond that, I just wish you well and the best of luck with your journey as an entrepreneur, building out your business and making sure that you're making good decisions that support your business and yourself and your customers. Be well, and I'll see you again soon.